If you're looking at the raging fires in Alberta and thinking, this feels like it's getting worse, you are unfortunately right. The frequency and tenacity of fires in this era is different. Just ask the residents in Lytton, Slave Lake, and Fort McMurray. Homes, livelihoods, and communities are all gone within a blink of an eye, and it's happening again now. So why are they worse? Why are they stronger? Why are they more frequent? John Vaillant, who spent years looking at what happened in 2016 in the Fort McMurray fires, is with us now. Thanks for joining us, John. We pulled up some pictures here because I think these are some of the most recent pictures of the wildfires in Alberta. And as a layperson, as I watch it, it looks absolutely terrible, but also almost indistinguishable from other fires. And I'm wondering what you see that's different.
Yeah, one fire, one size does not fit all with wildfires. This is what you'd call a rank 6 wildfire. It's the greatest intensity that the rating scale it goes up to. So it's like comparable to a Category 5 hurricane. So these flames are probably well over 100, well, close to 100 meters tall at their very peak. They're going right up out of the frame, as we can see. These are entire trees combusting all at once. And what happens with a big boreal fire is 100, 1,000 of these trees may go up simultaneously, creating this wall of fire that can be 100 meters tall and releasing energy that is kind of borderline nuclear. Like you are not going to put this fire out with a hose. You're not going to put it out with a bucket. You're not going to put it out with an airplane full of retardant. You're going to get out of the way as quickly as you can. And this is overwhelming energy. So
why so strong, though?
Yeah, it's so strong because really since around 2000, we've seen a change in northern forests, particularly in the boreal forest system, which is a circumpolar forest system that goes all the way around the northern hemisphere. And what we've had is heating and drying, and those go together hand in hand. And you've got 50% more CO2 in the atmosphere than there was in pre-industrial time. So this is industrial CO2 generated by fossil fuel burning.
So you wanted to look in particular at a fire tornado. This is the image we have up here right now. These are pretty rare. I know this is from California in 2018. Why do you want to look at this right now in relation to Alberta?
I want to look at this in relation to Alberta because this is the future of fire. So the first fire tornado ever recorded, ever seen, ever measured was in Australia in 2003. Everyone then wondered, will we ever see another one? Well, we saw another one in 2018 in Redding, California. And it was an EF3 tornado. That's wind speeds well over 200 kilometers an hour. The temperatures were sufficient to melt steel. It just blew houses right off their foundations. And it was a level of destruction I've never witnessed in my life. It looked like what you would see after a nuclear blast.
Well, looking at it right now, it's a little hard to imagine all the heat that's in that.
Think of a Ford F-150 pickup truck driving into it, being thrown up into the air, spun around, smashed into the ground with a person in it, and burnt down to the springs and the chassis. That's all that was left. Now, will we have a fire like this in Alberta? It is possible now. Once you've introduced this new reality to nature and to our planet, it's possible. This image here, this is a cast iron skillet. Think about the energy that it takes to take a cast iron skillet, throw it hundreds of meters from the nearest house, which was blown off its foundation, destroyed and burnt to nothing, to break the handle off the cast iron pan and punch a hole through it. There were no tools or weapons involved in this. This was fire energy that did this.
And these are not the fires of 30, 40 years ago, is what you're saying?
No, they are not.
When you look at the aftermath, when you look at what's left over and the building materials, what is that also new? Are you seeing not just the speed of the fire, but what's burning telling you a story?
The modern house is actually filled with petroleum products. Think of vinyl siding, think of tar shingles, think of vinyl windows, think of our carpets, our mattresses, our sofas and chairs. They're all made with synthetics, which are at root petroleum products. And we've got to really remember that petroleum, it's a fossil fuel. The reason why we're generally interested in it is because it burns. And you can also make plastics and synthetics out of it, but those will volatilize and burn much more intensely than cotton or wool or wood. And so you have a modern house now that may have a wooden frame, but many of the other components are actually petroleum products. And when you get a house like that hot enough, like it was in Lytton, like the houses were in Fort McMurray, they won't just catch on fire, they will explode into flame. And so you had houses in Lytton and also in Fort McMurray burning to the ground, to the basement in 5 minutes.
One last thought, as you look at this fire here and know what people in Alberta are looking at and going through, what thoughts do you have for them right now?
I feel fear and real sympathy. These are traumatizing events that sear the experience into your memory, and you can never quite look at a forest or your own neighborhood the same way again, because now you know what's possible.
John Vaillant, thank you.
Thanks for having me on.